Okay, good afternoon. Welcome to South Dakota Volleyball Media Day. Thank you for coming, everybody. First, we're going to start with the girls over here. We have 4 returning athletes to answer some questions. On the far right over there, we have Evelyn Diedrich, a senior outside hitter from Overland Park, Kansas. She appeared in 29 matches last season, totaling 205 kills, 49 digs, and 25 block assists. Then we have senior Madison Harms, who's a 3-time first-team All-Summit League middle blocker from Sergeant Bluff, Iowa. Madison is just the second Coyote in program history to record 500 career blocks. She holds the program records in the rally scoring era for assisted blocks, solo blocks, and total blocks. Next, we have junior Elena Wolf, who is a defensive specialist from Jackson, Minnesota. Elena appeared in all 33 matches last season, totaling 252 digs, 22 assists, and 32 service aces. She had 4 aces in the Summit League Championship sweep of Omaha. And on the end here, we have junior outside hitter Kylan Seelock from Lincoln, Nebraska. Kylan was named to the all-tournament team at last season's Summit League tournament. She had 14 kills in that same championship match over Omaha. We'll go ahead and start with questions.
All right, Kylan, just first off, how did that late season experience last year kind of prepare you for an expanded role this season?
I think that coming in, I just wanted to play hard, and getting the opportunity, I think, has put me in a good position for this year, a little bit more experience and time on the court. And now I know how it feels to be out there and play with the girls and the intensity that is needed.
Absolutely. Elena, just listed as a defensive specialist. I don't know what the plan is as far as replacing Lolo's production from last season, but just kind of how has it been in the preseason for you?
Yeah, this preseason has been really fun. Our DS position has a lot of depth. We have 5 of us now, and bringing me and Cameron back with some court time and experience definitely helps, and I think it shows. I think that the position has a lot of depth, and we all push each other every day in the gym, and we're always working to get better. So I think it'll be a good season.
And then Madison and Evelyn, just as the seniors on the team, how have you tried to lead the team more in the preseason?
I think that we just wanted to put our all into being good teammates and working hard. So I think we led by example. I thought all the upperclassmen and all the returners worked hard from the minute we came here this summer, and when the freshmen came, I think they filed in, and it's been going really well.
Yeah, I think we put a really big emphasis on this summer and working as a team together. And I think that right away, the first day of practice, that showed. And when we were already playing well together, we love each other. I mean, you can just tell in the videos, the way we cheer for each other is very authentic.
Absolutely. Madison, just after that 5-set game against Houston, was there more of a sour taste in the team's mouth, or is it more positive motivation going into this season?
I would say that it was a lot of positive motivation. It obviously sucks to lose, but I think we really put our heart into that game, and we saw just a glimpse of what we can do and how that we can continue to expand on that and hopefully win a game in the NCAA tournament this year.
Absolutely. And then Evelyn, just the early season tournaments, what catches your eyes as far as the early season opponents?
Yeah, I think we're really excited just because we haven't faced a lot of these teams before, and I think it's just an opportunity for us to get better. I mean, we see what we need to work on and see what we need to do better for when conference rolls around, but I think we're really excited about the teams that we're playing and think it'll be a good matchup for us.
Most of you are, at least Midwest kids or whatever, but Madison, you're pretty local here, from Sergeant Bluff. So what's it mean for you to be in this situation? To be more of a local kid and probably to have a lot of people drive back and forth for home games and everything like that?
Yeah, it's super awesome. My family makes it to almost every game, even my extended family, and I see a lot of fans that'll come up to me and say, oh, my daughter goes to Sergeant Bluff, or I'm from Sioux City, and it's super cool that I get support from the people who are close, and that I was able to come here and have my family come watch.
Yep. How can what are you guys trying to do to move the program forward after last season, going to the NCAA tournament and everything? What qualities are you looking for in underclassmen to kind of carry on the tradition?
I think we're looking for people who can be leaders, who have strong voices on the court. It's always really important when someone comes out there and can light a fire under the other people on the court. And I think this year's freshman class has done a really good job at that. And I also think we're just looking for someone who wants to work hard every day and doesn't take like reps or practices off. And I think that's also been a positive for us this year.
Yeah, I think we talk about competing a lot in our gym, and I think with the personnel that we have this year, everyone's very willing to compete, and the competitiveness is cranked up quite a bit this season, which is how we like it.
Now, we have three-time Summit League Coach of the Year, Leanne Williamson, who is entering her 10th season as the leader of the Coyotes and 15th season at South Dakota overall. She is the winningest head coach in program history with 192 wins, and she's going to start with a statement before we go to questions.
I mean, first, welcome back to Coyote Volleyball. We're excited to get started. This preseason has been incredible with this group of players so far. It's been extremely competitive. Even going into this weekend, we still don't know fully what our starting lineup is, and I think it just goes to show the depth that we have on this team. Obviously, we are going to draw from past experiences. A lot of the people in this gym have had championship match experience, have had NCAA tournament experience. Some of them on the court, some of them maybe as a teammate, and I think every single one of those experiences is important as we continue to move forward. Looking forward to another great year. I think one thing people are going to notice is our defense. We've been really happy with the group that we have, not only with our DS group, which is a group of 5, but also with the rest of our team. Whether it's blocking at the net with our middles, playing that backcourt defense with our liberos as well as setters, outsides. I just feel like we've kind of raised the standard there, and that's been a lot of fun to watch and be a part of. And if anybody did see any of Kansas, I think that was something that stood out to us right away. So different year, replacing some people that have been around the program for a long time, but it's also been an exciting year and something that I think people are going to notice right off the bat, that we are different. There's still some similarities, but we got to find some different ways to win at times, which this team has 100% bought into.
Hi, Coach. Good to see you again. Just with the weather outside, how thankful are you that you're playing an indoor sport at this time of year?
Extremely. We talk about that all the time. I was actually just talking to somebody who was out at the soccer game last weekend, and we feel pretty grateful to be inside. It makes me feel bad that I complain about being cold sometimes in the gym.
Just with Elizabeth's status as a student assistant listed on the website, just kind of what is her role with the team right now?
Yeah, so I think she's done a good job of kind of finding her new role, although I think it's still a work in progress. She's obviously been on the court for us these last 4 years, so for her kind of settling into a little bit of a different role, whether it's helping with things on the sideline, whether it's having small conversations with some of our players, maybe more the mental aspect at times. I think it'll be something that'll probably evolve, over the season, but I think she's a great asset still. Obviously she's done a lot for us on the court, but I think she can give a lot still within this new role. It's just a different role, but for somebody who is interested in possibly going on to coach in some capacity after this, I think it's also good for her to kind of see the other side of things and sit back and watch, rather than always being on the court.
Yeah, is there a chance that we might see her on the court in the future?
She's made the decision to be done at this point. Her recovery is pretty intensive, after that surgery. But I think she's come to terms with it. She had a great career. She accomplished almost every single goal she had set out for herself. She had an impact on this program, as I think our entire program, as well as our fans and community and the league and even people in the nation have seen. So I think she feels pretty good with what she has accomplished, and now it's just, again, finding a different way to impact this program.
Absolutely. And then just replacing Lolo's production, is that going to be done more by committee this season?
I think it's a question that I've gotten almost every year in looking at a specific player. And I think the answer is always going to be you don't replace, a certain player. I think that there's people that have impacts that are still specific to them, So I think we have a really deep libero group right now. I feel really good with the defensive production that we've gotten so far this preseason, and I anticipate a lot of them contributing in some way. We have a pretty tight race, I think, for the libero position right now, but it's because I think they've stepped up a lot, and a lot of them still have court experience, they have game experience, they know what that looks like. Their roles just become a little bit bigger. But in some ways, it's people are waiting for that opportunity, and I think that this group has definitely embraced some of those opportunities, and we've seen their play increase as well. So yes, in some way, it'll be replacing by committee, but at the same time, I think we got to find how to best utilize each person to their strengths. Nobody is Lolo, and even people on our team, they all have different strengths and, things that they can continue to get better at, and it's our job to figure out how to best utilize them.
Mm-hmm. And then just at that setter position, now having Brooklyn back from injury as well as Maddie, kind of just how excited does that make you as far as the depth from the entire team?
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head, and just in terms of the depth, I think all three of our setters right now on roster have done an amazing job of handling the different type of offense that we're running, really making changes based on what we're talking to them about, from a personnel aspect to just an overall philosophy on running our offense. And it's made the process probably a little bit harder for us as coaches, being able to see that high level in our gym every single day. And I do think it is a very difficult decision that we're going to have to make at some point in time. But right now, I think it's been really good for our team because the level in our gym is just really high. And we're constantly seeing it from both sides of the floor. So, we've seen the competitiveness, I think, within our gym just constantly just take that next step daily, each week. And that's something that's going to help us as the season progresses, as we go into not only preseason, but into conference and then hopefully postseason stuff.
Mm-hmm. And then just with Kylan, how much confidence do you think she got from those late season reps, and how has she built upon that in the off season?
Yeah, I think with everybody, the more you play, the more court time you get, the more confident you can become. And I think she's a different player from even 2 weeks ago. And I think that's pretty incredible to see. And it's something that I'm very excited to watch her continue to make those steps and honestly leaps at times throughout the season. But, and it's not just offensively. Offensively, we know that she can hit the ball hard. She can hit with range. I think she can score points. But blocking, she's stepped up. Defensively, she's stepped up. She's taken a bigger role in serve receive. And it's been fun to watch her, and I think she's handled that challenge really well, also, which is great for our team. And I think in some ways, I think her leadership has grown too. And at times, people just need those opportunities. So, as different as we may be from last year, I think it's still going to be a really fun year because of people like Kylan.
Coach, you mentioned, some competition at different positions and everything. Can that be kind of a balancing act when you have to take a kid aside and be like, well, your role is going to be a little different this year?
Yeah, I mean, that's the tough part of the job. But I think you heard our players talk about it, the relationships, the support, the competitiveness, the fun. I mean, all of those things are extremely genuine. And we've talked a lot about being a good teammate, and that's something that has carried over from last season, and they've done that at an extremely high level, and we've had people sit in our offices saying, like, I want to play, but I'm going to do what's best for the team, and I think when you have people that can very much buy into that, it's huge. It's huge for an individual game, it's huge for a season, and it's huge for our program to continue to maintain that culture that we have worked really hard to get to. Now, this is a challenging time. We've had one match where not everybody played, and so far we've had, zero issues with that. Now, people want to play. We want people who want to continue to compete for that and want to continue to challenge that role and figure out how can I take that next step. And that's our challenge throughout the season is how do we keep them that invested? How do we keep them that involved and willing to put a lot into it, even if the results of playing time aren't always there. And one of the things we talk about is our definition of success, and I think when you look at being the best version of yourself, that's going to help them continue to see themselves move forward, even if the playing time isn't always there. But we've seen a lot of people take massive strides from last fall, last spring, even 2 weeks ago. And that's a really good problem to have, but that's where our culture really comes into play, where we hopefully can maintain that high level of relationships and support and communication and fun. I mean, in the end, we're playing a game that we all love.
Yeah, and how can, especially coming off a season like last season, how can all that kind of tie into moving the program forward from a recruiting standpoint and everything? I asked Madison about being a local kid and everything. That's got to be kind of an emphasis too, to recruit locally.
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, most people have seen it. We recruit a lot out of the Midwest. But I think a lot of it, our success, who we are as people, the coaches, the players, the program as a whole, I mean, this community, people know us at a different level. You know, at this point, we've, had high schools or clubs that have had their players come here that know that they're getting a good experience and enjoying their time here, and that obviously helps us through recruiting. But at the same time, we really do believe this place is special, from, again, the school, the academics, to the volleyball, to the community, to the support that we have within the athletic department. And I think with that, we get to share that with recruits. We get to share that, that story, who we are as a program, and I do think it continues to help us, and it's something that we're excited about to continue to move the program forward. We've had a lot of success. We want to continue to have success. We want to continue to win championships, but we're not done yet. We still feel like there's more that we can accomplish. We still feel like there's more that we can do as a program, and that's exciting, for the program as a whole. And they obviously talked about it, but our goals haven't changed. Our expectations haven't changed, even though we have a different personnel and different coaches. We have different staff members right now, but we're all working towards those same goals, and obviously even into the future with future classes as well.
Coach, just how influential has David Herbster been in your career, just with him making the announcement last week?
Yeah, I mean, he's been a huge part of Coyote Volleyball and the growth that we've had. Him and I had been here for a long time together. Obviously, me going back to the GA position, and then he was the athletic director when I got hired as the head coach. And going from playing on top of the football field in the dome to playing up in the den, in the concourse level of the new side of the dome, to ultimately being in the SCSC, we've seen a lot of changes. We've seen transitions. We've seen a lot of growth and a lot of support, for this program. So, that's what I said to him is, thank you. Thanks for being a part of all of that and continuing to push the limits with that so that we can continue to grow. It's people like him in his position that can help us continue to take those next steps. And, I'm sure I challenged him, he challenged me, and I think through all that, this program got better.